I've used that time and time and time again. That Obama used the Goebbels tactics. It's like these guys are going back, looking at listening to my old shows. I've said that, like Obamacare. Obamacare, I kept saying the same thing. This is a Goebbels tactic. You tell a big lie, and you tell the biggest lie you can, and you tell it over and over and over again until people believe it. Now, Berwin came out and got busted. That's the guy who was the architect of Obamacare. He got busted on tape in a telephone conversation saying American people are stupid. They suppressed that. They've showed it a couple of times and then they suppressed it. But the American people are stupid. See, Donald Trump was surrounded this second election. He let those damn consultants come in. He listened to those Republican consultants and he lost. He should have talked about the border and immigration and stopping the caravans coming. He talked about it, when he was on the Eclipse yesterday or the day before yesterday or last week. Those were the things he should have talked about. He should have talked about the great economy he created. He should have talked about how he stopped Kim Jong-un from shooting missiles over Honolulu. No, did he talk about that stuff? No. He was trying to be funny. I didn't understand his campaign.
I would agree. It's not that I didn't write him on a regular basis and his staff to raise the issues, but I couldn't get through. The people wouldn't listen to me.
Well, that's what they do. That's what they do to credible sources. That's what they have to do in order to remain credible, because those of us who are out here paying attention, those of us who are out here really, doing what we do with the American people every day, like I said, folks don't want to deal with the truth, and we bring the truth. Dan? Hello? Perkins.
I'm here.
Yeah, I thought you went to sleep on me, man.
No. I was having I hit a dead spot, so I lost you. But you're back.
Man, you can't drive down the street.
My point is, even though you don't believe the polls, the national media, the mainstream media reports the results of the polls, and over and over and over again, the big lie. And so people say, well, it must be true.
Well, then those people you have to write off. You just write them off. There's nothing you can do but write them off.
But they vote.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, as I said earlier, people will be clamoring for Donald Trump to come back. You watch.
And do you think he'll come back? Will he run in 20?
Yeah, if he gets.
You think he'll run in 2024?
Yeah.
But given the vitriol of the Republican leaders who want to get rid of him, how can he come back?
Nobody cares about the Republican leaders. That's all wrong. Nobody cares about the Republican leaders. We don't care about the Republicans, period. In fact, a number of them are going to be primary. And that's the beauty of having Donald Trump. See, Donald Trump can take the Republican Party and literally change the face of the Republican Party through primarying people. He has the ability to primary people. He has the mechanism and the money to primary people. And that's a whole different ball game than other politicians have had or would even presume. Mitch McConnell needs to be forced to resign for a number of reasons. One, I think he has a number of conflicts of interest, and so does his wife. I think he needs to be forced into retirement. And, they've kind of done that with Dianne Feinstein. They've kind of said she's senile. She's showing signs of dementia. And they've driven Dianne Feinstein totally underground, dude. Have you heard from her lately? We haven't heard from Dianne Feinstein in the last month.
Right. No, you're right. And then
she's going to resign. I think Dianne Feinstein is going to resign in April or May. I think she's just going to step down and said, my health, precludes me from continuing as a senator, and she's going to let Gavin Newsom report her replacement. He may appoint himself, like the guy from West Virginia. What's his name? Mitchum.
Mansion.
Mansion, just like Manchin did. He appointed himself. He said, Senator, oh, shit. The governor of West Virginia versus being a U.S. senator? See ya.
Well, the beauty of that is that Gavin Newsom has already replaced Kamala. But if Feinstein goes, they got Democrats out there actively going against him to recall him from the governor.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he does.
Yeah.
Maybe he appoints himself the replacement.
Yeah, but he really wants to run for president. He thinks he's presidential material. He thinks he's good looking enough to be president. And that's what the election has turned into. It's turned into a high school popularity contest.
Well, there's some truth to that.
Well, no, it's a lot of truth to that. I mean, when you look at the Pew Research has clearly said that women vote, and I'm just saying, I rag on women because it's, I just put out there what's out there. They say that women vote for a candidate based on how he looks and how he makes them feel. Has nothing to do with the issues. Has nothing to do with the logic. It's like black women going out and voting for Joe Biden. Had nothing to do with the issues. If they looked at the issues, their children growing up in war zones, their children going to school where they just get out of the house and go to school, they'll learn jack. Black voters have to be some of the dumbest voters in the world, not in the United States, in the world. They never vote their damn interests because they're so damn stupid. Did I say that? Yeah, I did.
Yes, you did. I'm glad I didn't say that.
And I mean it. And I can verify it. Over and over and over again, voting for the same dumb people, the same racist people, and talking about they're not racist. Joe Biden is a racist SOB, but he's no different than a lot of other people. But does Joe exercise discrimination in his racism? No, but he's a damn racist and a bigot.
So do you think he's going to finish his first term?
I think Joe will probably have some type of medical issue that will preclude him from finishing his term.
And then Kamala's going to be president.
Yeah, and then Kamala will probably have an incident of some type.
She'll have a what?
She'll probably have an incident of some type.
What? I'm sorry, say that again. What kind of an event?
She'll probably have some type of incident.
Oh. And she'll be going too?
I think that we're going to see a very tumultuous, tangled presidency these next few years. I really do.
Well, I would absolutely agree with you because I look at what's going on. We've got 20,000 soldiers that are going to be in Washington, D.C. The incoming president is using the army to protect him going into office. I mean, that's never happened before. Well, I shouldn't say that. There were at Abraham Lincoln's first and second inauguration, there were a lot of military on the ground, but just amazing. I mean, I always used to look forward to Inauguration Day because it was a new opportunity. I love the parades and all the patriotism. None of that's going to happen this year. We've got. Well,
unless we go, see, and this is the other thing people did not want. They don't want Donald Trump to go after China. China is just let the WHO into China to see where this disease came from. So you have the CDC saying, well, because they have not allowed us into the country over a year, that they've hurt. They've killed more people. They've allowed the spread of the disease. China is not a good corporate citizen. China is not a good world citizen. China needs to be treated as it should be, and it needs to be isolated. We need to bomb them back to ashes. I mean, so what if they lose, 500 million people? They got 3 billion people over there.
Mm-hmm. They can make more.
Yeah. So, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself that, we have a lot of issues going on, and I can tell you, Dan, it is not going to get any better. If anything, I think it's going to get worse. I just don't see the I see the American people rising up, and the American people are very resolute, I think, in seeing that the people is what the issue is. And we can talk about it, we can speculate about it, but I tell you that 800,000 people, 600,000 to 800,000 people showing up in the Capitol. That's the the media. So to your point, where's the media on that? Nobody's reporting that. That's the largest crowd to ever descend on the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you ever heard anybody say that? No, you haven't heard anybody say that because they don't want people to think about it. But you think people aren't thinking about it? Going, okay, for the March on Washington in '63, there were 250. That hadn't been the biggest crowd up until this time. Okay, so dude. The American people aren't stupid, and just because they aren't saying anything, they don't listen to mainstream media. They're not paying any attention to lamestream media or these liberals. We're going to do what we need to do to turn this country around, to turn the country back to traditional values. We're not going to let people like Barack Obama and his ilk destroy this country. I always say to people who try to debate that and try to debate that there's no right and wrong in the world. I always say to them this: remember Sodom and Gomorrah. Mm-hmm. So you can throw God out of your life. You could say there is no God, but their Bibles, the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah say differently. And it's really interesting that those three books basically include stories from each book. Mm-hmm. And nobody ever really talks about that, but those three major books include stories and the same characters from history, so from biblical history. So bottom line is, you can believe or not believe, God is real.
Yeah. You wore me out.
Well, that's hard to do. Yeah. So look, I'll talk to you over the weekend, and
yes, sir.
We'll get ready to go.
I'll send you an email this afternoon, and we'll work out a time.
All right, sir. Take care.
Thank you.
You too.
Take care.
All right. Bye. Bye. Okay. Hey, folks, I'm sorry that you didn't get a chance to hear Dan. That particular, I guess that file, what is it? That, channel on my system is out. It's the most amazing thing. The most amazing thing. That channel on my system's out. I'm going to play this clip, see if it works. Let's see here. Media player. Let's see. Okay. Let's see here. See if it works, because my channels are both out. It's amazing.
Here we are in Washington, D.C. at wonderful Black Lives Matter Plaza. And as you know, on Wednesday, the big events happened at the Capitol building with Antifa leading the way and using agent provocateurs to basically guide Trump supporters into the Capitol building very successfully. Ended up with 5 people dead. 1 police officer and 4 unknown people. Well, we know one of Ashley Babbitt. Babbitt, yeah, Air Force veteran, unfortunately was shot in the neck. And we can see by the videos that we've been looking at and the photos, and being present. I was not present for the shooting. I did not go inside the building. I was outside the building watching the activities out there. We saw a lot of agent provocateur activity with Antifa using Hong Kong tactics, using wearing the same sorts of masks that they wore in Hong Kong. As you know, I was in Hong Kong for approximately 7 months until they finally kicked me out. So I was in about 100 protests, and 100 of the big protests and many of the small ones. So I'm very familiar with their tactics, very familiar with their procedures and how they operate. And we know that Antifa was actually in Hong Kong learning their tactics, and they bragged about it quite a lot. They brought a lot of the tactics back from Hong Kong to the United States. Of course, these two movements are completely separate. They're completely unrelated. But since I spent so long with the Hong Kongers, I can spot their tactics here quite quickly. And so I saw quite a lot, for instance, wearing the goggles and the same sorts of 3M masks and that sort of thing. Because this requires the kind of analysis that only Epoch is doing at this time. You in particular, because there's probably thousands of videos to digest. And but what we've seen so far, and being physically present, Antifa clearly led the attack. That was utterly obvious. For instance, outside,
Antifa led the attack. This is what Michael's saying.
There was much gas fired, and I believe rubber bullets. I'm not.
And people were saying, "Pass up the shields, pass up the shields, pass up the mask." Okay,
sure about that. They were throwing flashbangs. That's clear. We were right there. There was a lady on a megaphone saying, "Send up the mask, send up the mask." She said it over and over. It's on our video and others. That's a clear Hong Kong tactic that I've never seen in any other war and conflict, which is Hong Kongers would constantly say, send up water, send up masks, send up shields. We saw shields. That's what they used in Hong Kong. That's what Antifa is constantly using. You see, they show up with their homemade shields often, or shields that they've stolen. And so, yeah, there was Antifa written all over this.
Wow. See, I said that. I said that from the get-go. Now, you're not going to hear this anywhere else, but you pass this along. And God, I gotta make a clip of this. I gotta make a video of this. I gotta put this up on my website. But anyway, you guys take care, take it easy. It has been a rough technical session here. I don't know what happened with Dan and him calling in, but I could not get him to come across the board like I needed them to. And I don't know why. But I'll figure it out. So look, you guys hang in there, be good. It's Freedom Friday. Talk to you next week. Okay.